And the reality is again, when it's talking about our foods, it's all over the place. You'll see articles everywhere. If you look at the vitamin content, the mineral content, there's been a drastic reduction because of farming techniques and soil depletion. The bottom line is our food is not grown for nutrition. This article actually talked about that you need to eat 8 oranges today to get the same amount of vitamin A than our grandmothers used to get from one. That's insane, right? And if you were to eat that much more, you're increasing your calories and you're increasing your sugar intake. And that is something that we do not want to do, especially when we're trying to improve our metabolic health at the same time. And, there's been studies that have been published in the past 15 years that talk about how, our produce is low in phytonutrients, which are the compounds that had that potential to reduce the risk of our modern lifestyle diseases, like cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, I said diabetes again, obesity, and dementia. And even if you eat healthy, okay, I'm someone who eats pretty healthy. Not perfect, but I would say I'd eat pretty healthy. I still see that need to supplement, because if you look at the mineral depletions in the past 50 to 70 years, there's been a constant decrease. I don't see an addition here. There's like a constant reduction in those minerals like magnesium, calcium, iron, copper. These are essential minerals that your body relies on. So it's not just what you eat on a good day that matters. It's what you eat even on bad days that matters. So even if you can eat a perfect diet, I'm sure all of you can agree that it's not 100% perfect 100% of the time. So think about it. Ask yourself, are you getting in all your nutrients? Are you getting them consistently? And I also, so these couple slides that I'm about to show you, I actually adapted them from a video that you can find on our Impact Life YouTube channel. It's called Nutrient Depletion and Vitamins and Minerals, Why You Need Supplements, by Dr. James, I hope I don't butcher the name, Dr. James DiNicolantonio. And he talks about the decline in these nutrients and decline in these vitamins and minerals in our foods. And so, if you look at the percent of the population that's not hitting their estimated average requirements, okay, it's 100% of people are not getting enough potassium. 75% of people are not getting enough vitamin D. 60% of people are not getting enough vitamin K. 40% of people are not getting enough calcium. The reality is that in order to meet our daily requirements, we need to eat about 30% more food to get the same amount of nutrients that we did 100 years ago. And with the way that our environment is being polluted, this could rise to up to 38% more food. And so and unfortunately, if we had to eat more calories, that means that we're going to end up gaining weight as a whole, right? Just to be able to meet these requirements. So this is where making sure that you're covering all your bases, right? You're getting in enough nutrients, not just from your food, but also through supplementation. You need to think about adding alternative methods to help you reach your daily intake. And so, he concluded his whole talk on the fact that the Western diet is just lacking in many vitamins and minerals, even if you supplement with a multivitamin. So, it's tough to reach those requirements. And the fact that you would have to, even if you increase that consumption of that whole unprocessed food, there's still a 30% reduction in those nutrients today as compared to 100 years ago. And so eating real food is not enough, right? Whatever that means, real food. So we need to think about that, think about how we are meeting our intake, and know that our recommended daily intake that we see on our nutrition facts, the recommended daily intake for certain vitamins, if it's X percentage, really we have to ignore that, because that's the bare minimum to keep us alive. We need to up the ante here and add as much vitamins and minerals in our diet as possible, because then that's how you're going to really feel healthy. That's where you're going to start to feel those beneficial effects. And it's not just with our vitamins and minerals. Like, let's look at what fiber does to our body, right? There's so many studies out there that talk about how fiber intake is basically saves lives. It's crucial to help with modern metabolic conditions like diabetes. This article came out where research showed that eating more fibers can increase your life expectancy, but unfortunately our food processing and our manufacturing removes these fibers. So if you think about it, our whole wheat bread is not any more healthier than our white bread. So the reality is that the foods that you see on the shelves containing fiber is not very high. They're ultra processed, and there's just not enough variety of fibers there that you can get from your diet alone. Not all fibers are the same, and not all fibers have that same function. And so there was a second study that showed the difference between eating processed grains versus unprocessed grains. And those that consumed the unprocessed grains showed greater weight reduction. What does that show? That shows that unprocessed grains still have a lot of their fibers intact, right? And so if you're incorporating more unprocessed grains, you're going to have more variety of fibers and more of that help towards weight reduction. But be careful, because grains still are very dense in calories, and so we want to make sure that we control that at the same time, especially if our goal is weight loss.